Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
And today we've got the second game of our round 3, the Fredericton Gamezilla Regional Championships.
So here we have Rob returning with his BBBB and Z.
So yeah, it's a familiar face. You'll have seen this before. And his opponent today is Charles D, who's running a ship that we don't see a whole lot of. So John, if you want to...
Well, we have Soontir Fel with the Royal Guard title, Push the Limit, Autothrusters, and a targeting computer. So very standard there. Echo with a captive, a sensor jammer, VI, and an advanced cloaking device, and the Doom Shuttle, returning from the dark. So the interesting thing here is, besides the Doom Shuttle, because ever since the advent of the Decimator, very rarely see Doom Shuttles, but on top of which, Echo, I normally see Whisper all the time. So now we have Echo with a Rebel captive, so hey, come at me, bro! And the sensor jammer, which is a really neat upgrade that I haven't seen a whole lot of, which is, if you shoot at it, well, you get to change one of the hits into a focus result.
That focus result cannot be re-rolled through the use of on solo, targeting, or target lock, anything like that.
Yeah, so that's a little neat. If the person has a focus, and it kind of overrules that. But I was interested to see when I first saw Echo that there's no Carnor Jax. I know Ian loves Carnor Jax, but that kind of synergy was just immediately obvious to me. Hey, you have a sensor jammer. You have to, if you spend focus, you get around it, but you can't spend focus, bro.
So we're going to see how this fairly defensive-minded Echo plays out. And the neat thing about Echo, just, again, we're still using those old stealth rules and decloaking. The neat thing about Echo, just how Echo decloaks with those banked maneuvers, puts her in some very strange positions.
Yes. The banks just completely blow your mind when it comes to decloak.
Very interesting deployment on Charles's part up here. He had Soontir and Echo in the top of the map facing down. So it's like, oh, I'm going to deploy here, and then run away!
So here we have one of the banked decloaking.
Yep.
And Rob obviously was deployed in a brick with a flanking, denied flank maneuver.
I mean, makes sense with that kind of fleet. We saw it in the last video. These ships, they don't really have a synergy with each other, so they just strengthen numbers.
Yeah.
And kind of, again, a neat asteroid deployment, kind of clustered up again in one sector of the map.
Yeah.
So leaving that shuttle lots of room to fly around in for a little bit.
Well, the trick with the shuttle is you plot a course and you try to maximize the number of shots you get with it. If you're using Doom Shuttle, try to maximize the number of shots you get off. You're going to lose the shuttle, that's hence the name. So it really comes down to making sure that you get the shots on your terms rather than losing the shuttle to your opponent's terms.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Rob has declared himself. It's like, I want Echo gone. Makes sense. I mean, that Phantom, regardless of whether it's Whisper or Echo or who it is, Phantom's still a very scary fighter.
Yes.
And Rob's got some very unmaneuverable in defensive sense.
Well, they're jousters. They're not really good at dealing with arc dodgers, especially when there's only a couple of ships left on the table.
Yeah.
So you want to get rid, when you have the sheer numbers on your side, when you have all of the actions and the different shots that you can pile into one fighter to make sure that, they might have a focus token. Well, 4 attacks later, you might not have that focus token. So making sure that you can just salvo it down and get rid of those arc dodgers and then focus on the big, meaty jousters that you can easily deal with.
Yeah.
Now the trick, I think, with our Charles character that is going to be with his list is to make Soontir be as effective as he possibly can in the time that he has given. We've seen in our previous regional videos that running around with your TIE Interceptor and not doing a whole lot can really hurt you early in the game, but TIE Interceptors are extremely powerful. we've seen them work wonders in our videos, so I'd like to see how Soontir is going to manage in this video.
Yeah, this is the definite thing about the tournament setting is you don't really have time to, for lack of a better description, faff around with your ships because you're on a timer, your opponent's on a timer, and that's going to dictate each other's style of play. And generally speaking, a lot of players are going to play a lot more aggressively to get as much damage caused in that set time frame that you have.
Yeah, and that's the real strength with a list like Rob, is that he has all of these different fighters. If he loses one or two, it's not putting him too big in the squad points loss. Whereas if he loses, if Charles, for instance, loses his Phantom, that could be 30, 40 points. Bam, gone.
So the interesting thing, Rob shot with his headhunter there. The sensor jammer came into effect. It turned after Rob had already spent his target lock, turned a hit into a focus, and couldn't use it. Now, unfortunately, Charles was not able to roll evades on his 3 evade dice, so he did take a shield from Echo, but it was better than nothing. Better than taking 2 points.
Yes. It's kind of rough to see just a 2 attack dice being able to do damage to a Phantom like that.
Well, he rolled 3 focus results, right? So it's just, oh no. And Charles did have to barrel roll out. He didn't want to be in firing range of both of those forward fighters.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
So we'll see see where Echo's going to end up now. Echo's in a very nice spot to start swinging around into the side of Rob's force, depending on how Rob maneuvers the rest of his ships.
I think one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of Echo is, for the longest time, Echo doesn't have as high of a pilot skill as Whisper, right? So when there was the bidding wars of pilot skill, when the cloaking was the way that it was just, okay, I need to have as high pilot skill as possible so I don't lose the turrets. Like
I need pilot skill 9.
Yeah, exactly. So you didn't see Echo because of that. On top of that, Whisper was just a solid gunship. With the focus, when you hit, triggering meant that if Whisper was getting focus fired, it was extremely defensible once it was cloaked. Whereas
sure.
Echo required a lot more maneuverability, and earlier in the meta, ships that had special skills that allowed it to be more maneuverable were dropped in favor of just sheer firepower or sheer durability, which is why we don't see a whole lot of A-Wings still.
Yeah, Echo's shtick is, where am I going to end up? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. I'm going to be somewhere. And Echo takes a lot of spatial awareness, to a lot more than a regular Phantom, to plot where they're going to end up. I like playing Echo though. It's a heck of a lot of fun to fly.
Yeah, for you.
So here we go. This is Rob. I like what Rob's doing here. He's setting up multiple fields of fire to try to basically kill box anything that he can. Definitely knows what a Phantom's capable of. He's played Ian quite a number of times. He's seen what these Phantoms can do, and he knows he needs to kill it.
Well, this is really close to an asteroid here.
It is. We'll see if once the hands move. And Echo squeaks by. Dangerously close there. Opting to barrel roll.
I'm not sure if he's going to be within a fire arc if he barrel rolls. That's the only thing.
No, I don't think so. I also don't think he was where he was before.
No, that's fair. Yeah, you don't want to be sitting there just cloaked or decloaked and not being able to do anything. But
yeah. Now Charles is doing a lot longer and broader maneuvers than I'm used to seeing with a Phantom.
Yes, that is true. I'm used to seeing very sharp turns followed by a decloak or cloaking.
Very abrupt maneuvers.
But I think that also has to do with the fact that we're just so used to seeing Ian play. We're used to seeing our boy Ian play. So having a different Phantom player just shows us not only a different side of the Phantom, but it also gives us a different playstyle as well.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Soontir he's joining the fight, and he's elected to do some range 3 skirmishing here. So we'll see definitely starting to have battle lines crossed. Let's see what happens.
I think for the most part, Charles's overall plan is get as many shots with Vader as he possibly can, and don't really engage the enemy until those Vader shots are opening up. The only problem that I have with that idea is that Vader's real strength is the fact that he can just dish out crits.
Yes.
And those B-Wings aren't very durable once their shields are gone. They have 5 shields to recall. So a really solid crit is going to be a lot more effective than planking off a couple of points of shields with Vader's ability.
Yeah, but the unfortunate roll there from the Omicron pilot of 3 focus.
So did he use his ability to plank a shield off, or no?
Looks like he kept it. At this point, it's probably not worth it. 2 points for 1. It's questionable. Especially with all of those enemy guns still in play.
The other really neat thing that Charles can do at this point in the game is a lot of players will elect to just hard break and blast, and it might be worth it to just block with the shuttle and force Rob to break off. And you break off into asteroids would be very, very difficult, and for Rob to deal with, especially with 2 arc dodgers there being able to pick up the slack. And on top of that, once Charles has done that red maneuver, he can do like 1 green forwards, and he'll probably still bump and knock himself back to where he was located originally.
Yeah, and Echo's down to 1. Some unfortunate evasions there. Just having to barrel roll with Echo and not being able to recloak is definitely hurting the Phantom's defensive ability.
Yeah, it's almost worth thinking about putting something along the lines of push the limit on Echo as well.
Yeah, well, the veteran instincts, it's there for that pilot skill 8. I can understand why it's there. But against a swarm, it's not going to help you.
No.
So it's kind of a luck of the draw of what fleet do you end up against.
Yeah, the arc dodgers just have such a difficult time with swarms for the most part, and that's not unique to rebel swarms or imperial swarms. This is swarms in general. Swarms are when played very well tend to be very difficult to fight against.
Yeah.
But once you start flinking away the swarm, or once you put a wedge in it and force the swarm to break and just pick them off one at a time, that's when those arc dodgers really shine. So it's really up to Charles to force the conversation that's happening on the battlefield right now.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. Hopefully this turn, Echo's going to be able to get some work done. He's only down to 1 health, though, so Echo's in a rough spot. Definitely in a rough spot.
And the other thing to note is that Rob has had a lot of practice fighting Phantoms as well. Yeah. He has played Ian a lot of times, and that it might not be something that Charles is completely aware of. Coming into regionals, might be a completely fresh player, but I know for a fact that Rob has had practice playing against Phantoms, and that kind of practice is going to be in his favor.
Definitely. And Rob is also, at this point, he's setting up for the kind of engagement that his fleet wants. It's just that big head-on pass. He can get as many guns focused into the same spot as possible and just lawnmower through his opponent's fleet as much as he can.
So here's a bunch of bumping now, which is kind of what Charles wants. Kind of what Rob wants too, but if Charles can just take advantage of the situation, it could lead him to victory.
Yeah, I mean, Rob he's using his own ships to help his position. It is mitigating his action economy, but you got enough B-Wings on the table. You just throw dice at something, and eventually something will get through.
Yes, absolutely. The beautiful thing about the B and Z swarm compared to a TIE swarm is you're not throwing 2 attack dice on just a spam. You're throwing 3 attack dice.
Yeah, it's the quality or quantity has a quality of its own.
Yeah.
So two different fleets taking that maxim slightly differently. Be interesting to see how they fought against each other. I'd be very intrigued to see that.
The TIE Swarm versus a B Swarm?
Yeah.
I think that it really comes down to, not to say it's just skill, but unfortunately, when you have just a lot of just attack dice and sheer luck like that, the B-Wings can definitely come out on top because they can get the target lock and the focus, whereas the TIE Fighters can only do the focus and they have to rely on their arc dodging ability. However, there's 8 TIEs, so you might be
almost 2 to 1.
Yeah, you might be able to focus fire a couple of B-Wings down and around, especially since Bs don't have the evade dice that TIE Fighters have. So if TIE Fighters roll some good defense dice, those B-Wings are just going to take the damage on the chin.
Be an interesting conversation for sure. I'd like to see that. So here we go. He's got Charles is swinging again. He has to barrel roll with Echo, but this turn at least he's gonna have Echo cloaked, so he can try to have that. He can try to have Echo take it on the nose, as it were. Just power through with those 4 defense dice as much as possible.
I have a feeling that Echo is probably not going to survive this round, just because Rob knows better. Rob has already damaged it, only has 1 health left. He has weight of attack on his side. If all he has to do is keep on firing at it, and hopefully one of these shots will get through. And once that's gone, then all he has left to deal with is a shuttle and an interceptor. And unfortunately, the shuttle's just not that scary.
No, I mean the B-Wings are more maneuverable than the shuttle is.
Yes,
It's just impressive, but it's true.
well, shuttle can't turn around, and it doesn't have a turret.
Yeah.
So
Here it is. Looks like Charles is elected to try to burn the headhunter. Rob rolled fairly well, and it survived. Took some damage, but it's still alive. Just trying to take as many guns out of the picture as possible.
yeah. Some attack dice power going at that B-Wing.
Yeah, nice. Charles is splitting his fire up.
That's actually a good thing, because the Omicron pilot, if that headhunter only has like one hit left, he can either Vader or not Vader.
It looks like Charles either forgot to cloak or just elected not to. So, it looks like we'll be seeing the end of Echo this turn.
Yeah.
But just some dice not quite going Charles's way here.
Oh,
there
he
he
puts
is.
the token down.
But he's got that Z95 down to 1. But not, I say down to 1 is not quite dead.
Yeah.
He still shoots.
No, I can't do that.
So we'll see. Now, will Rob try to power through Echo, or is he going to ignore it and go after somebody else?
Well, the other thing to keep in mind is that Echo still has that sensor jammer, and because of Rob's bumping, he doesn't have the action economy to deal with that kind of.
And unfortunately, because this is a tournament, Charles can't go back and recloak Echo. Unless Rob is letting him. Oh, okay. He's being a good sport about it. Either decision would have been completely legal, just as a tournament, because he went to the Omicron pilot.
Yeah.
But so we'll see.
Good guy, Rob.
Yep, it's nice to see that kind of.
Sportsmanship?
Well, it is sportsmanship. It's also very gentlemanly behavior.
Yes.
It's not something you have to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's one of those things that a lot of times can be inferred. Like, yes, it's a phantom. It's going to cloak as soon as it shoots. But you have to make sure that when you're in this kind of environment, that you make those inferred decisions completely clear.
Looks like Rob he's putting some damage in onto the shuttle. Looks like Charles has also been using Vader's ability, but just plinking away at that shuttle. And it looks like he has decided to ignore Echo with some of his ships. He does still have a couple B-Wings left to fire.
Wow.
Yep, he's going after the shuttle. Make it a hard decision for Charles to shoot or to use Vader. You know, like, if I use Vader, I'll get a crit on you, but I'm gonna lose my shuttle if I do.
The thing with the shuttle, though, is that there's only, unless you have mastered your ability to plot a course with that ship, there's only so many places you can go over the course of the game, and if you go right through the middle, it takes you pretty much the rest of the game to get turned around so you can get fire arcs again.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you might as well just use that ability, because there's not going to be a lot of rounds that you can fire unless you continue to use the shuttle as a block, which might be a good idea. So the Phantom didn't die. I was wrong.
Well, it was cloaked, and Rob, he decided to... Oh, that was close.
That was close.
Decided to put that shuttle in that position of, you're going to suicide now. If Charles uses Vader, the shuttle's dead. It's gone. He's only got, what, 1 health remaining?
Yeah.
So that's it. He's toast after this. And the crit he drew stressed him out, so he can't even just zero maneuver this turn and just pillbox up.
Alright, here we go.
So interesting, a little faster than I would have expected, but
I think he knew he was going to bump anyway. He might as well just get right in there.
that's fair. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that there's going to be one of Rob's ships in front of the shuttle.
Yeah.
So Vader can get his one last hurrah and just go in there and you're mine.
So it looks like good guy Rob was handing out some of his nice winnings that he's had over some of his tournaments. Some of those nice, beautiful acrylic tokens, courtesy of Fantasy Flight Games, to the victors.
We had quite a number of event kits over the last year. There he is. He's coming around. Charge of the B-Wings. It's a strange thing to say, but
Yeah. It's a swarm of B-Wings. What? What? I don't understand.
It's a conga line of B-Wings.
Yes. It's a flustercluck of B-Wings.
Basically. So it looks like Rob's just elected the bottleneck right there. Not necessarily the worst decision. It keeps him where he wants to be.
It's good news for the Omicron pilot who
He's gonna get to shoot.
Get his last hurrah, like, as you said.
Yep. But it definitely puts a damper on where Charles' ships can go, because he can't fly in front of that shuttle.
No,
He's not getting through there.
Soontir doesn't have a lot of options available to him.
No.
I guess his best choice is to just bump with. Like, he's going to get some bumpins. He's going to get his comeuppance.
And here we go. We got Echo is also bumping. Right into Soontir's butt.
And Soontir, where are you going, buddy?
Let's see. The suspense. Oh, it's the one turn.
It is the best turn.
That definitely.
That is the right maneuver.
That gets him right in the firing line of a lot of ships, though.
But
But
he can do some actions, I think. Or was he stressed?
he's stressed because he pushed last turn.
Oh, right, yes.
And that one hard turn is a white maneuver. And it looks like he gets 3 damage in onto that B-wing, though. He's not going down without a fight.
Unfortunately, nothing else can really fire at that B-wing.
No, and that's definitely a strength to this style of fleet. If you're able to capitalize on it, that was some unfortunate.
That
echo.
is terrible.
Is if you can spread your ships out or spread the damage out over your ships, you can take a lot of damage in the course of the game and not actually lose anything.
Yeah, the sheer durability of Rob's list, and
It's impressive.
The 4 Bs and the Z, it is brutal.
And, just another 3 focus and a blank on 4 dice.
And it doesn't look like he used Vader's ability.
No.
But I can see why. It actually is forcing him to fire at the shuttle if he wants to deal with it.
Yeah, it takes the heat off the rest of his fleet. Perhaps if he'd connected those shots, then it might have been worth it to go 1-1 and just kill something.
Yeah.
Without those shots actually landing, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, this has been a terrible turn for Charles.
So here we go. Rodney's got 2 ships with 1 health left that he's looking at.
Let's see if he can capitalize.
Soontir only has 3 health. That's it. That's all he has. He's really expensive. He's got 3 health.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any of the defensive upgrades that we are known to seeing on some of the other high interceptors.
Yeah. So let's see. See who's going where. Looks like Soontir took a hit though.
Very interested to see how this turns out.
Another point on to Soontir. That's a crit though. Looks like it's persistent effect.
It's not a direct hit.
No, that's the worst. The bane of my existence is the direct hit.
Direct hits.
Here we go. We got some range 1 shots going in.
You know you'll have a bad day when you draw all 5 direct hits face up, or is it 7?
I think it's 7, yeah. There's Soontir. Oh, from full health to gone. Baron, we hardly knew ye.
Your goatee will live on in our hearts.
It is a pretty impressive goatee.
What do you think?
And this is it. That's the shuttle. Oh no, 1 hit and that was it.
This has been quite a devastating turn. Now all we have left is a lone phantom with 1 hitbox left.
1 hitbox left.
Can he do it?
We shall see.
The problem now is that there's just so many ships that can just get the perfect kill box in, and all it takes is 1 bad defense roll, and that phantom's going kaput.
Yeah, for sure.
On top of which, if Rob is able to bump it or put it in such a way that Phantom can't get any shots off and can't cloak, well, that's probably a dead Phantom.
Yeah. And that Charles decloaked to the side, but there's only so many places that Echo's going to be able to end up that way. And a lot of Rob's fleet was already pointing that direction. I mean, granted, couldn't really decloak a whole lot of other places, but that just lets Rob set up this beautiful overlapping field.
Yeah.
Just power through the attacks. He's going to be focusing to overcome that sensor jammer. I mean, it does. The neat thing about the sensor jammer is it does force Rob to focus.
Yeah.
So he's just got to go with what he rolls. But, you know, whether that's good or bad, we'll see.
Well, the thing with the focus is that when you spend the focus, and I might be misremembering what this order of operations, but if I remember correctly, depending on how, I believe the defender modifies the dice before the attacker modifies the dice.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter if Rob has nothing but focus tokens, and he will spend the focus because it can't be modified by the defender after that point.
Yeah.
And the focus is persistent over that entire fire shot, if that makes any sense.
So it looks like Charles he's burning forward, recloaking Echo. Looks like he wants to. He's going to try to survive this salvo, get himself turned around, and re-engage Rob's fleet. And so there we go. We got the Headhunter just going through.
Yeah, and as you see, he had 1 focus, 1 hit. Neither of them need to be modified because he was spending his focus anyway.
Yeah. So, but Echo squeaked by there with 2 defenses. Now he's got the 3 from 1 B-Wing turning into 2 hits.
And it's
Oof.
it's really a dice game at this point.
It is. It's throwing enough crap at a wall.
Yeah.
Trying to make something stick.
He has a lot of defense dice. Let's just see if that luck can hold up for him.
Yeah. There's a lot of range 3 shots though. So here it is. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Good hits from Rob here.
Oh
See
yeah.
if Charles can survive. Maybe.
I don't think that's gonna do it, and that's gonna be game.
So that was a heck of a fight there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Always a good good game to see a swarm, Rebel or Imperial, flying against someone else. And we got to see the Doom Shuttle.
The Doom Shuttle! Fortunately, its doom was not a glorious one. Well,
good, well fought by both opponents. Be sure to stay tuned, guys. We've got lots more games coming in the coming weeks.
be sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to follow up on some blog posts or even just see what we got on northerngamingnetwork.com, feel free. And if you want to follow us on Twitter at NorthGameNet, that'd be great too.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.